In this video, I'm going to show you a two-level action plan with a simple three-step automation that allows you to accomplish your goals without budgeting the hard way. But first, imagine this. You've tried budgeting. You have made the spreadsheet, tracked every coffee, and you've also felt guilty about dining out. You've downloaded the budgeting apps, color-coded your categories, and promised yourself this time would be different. But here's the problem with budgets. They require you to make perfect decisions every single day. Every purchase becomes a moral choice. Every swipe of your card comes with the feeling of extreme guilt. What if I told you that you don't need a budget at all? What if instead of budgeting, you need a system that works better for you? What if this system removes you and your feelings of guilt and doubt from the equation entirely? Imagine a system that splits your money automatically by dollar amounts and lets you spend without guilt. Here is the problem with traditional budgets. Let's take a look at an example budget based on the 50-30-20 rule. The 50-30-20 rule sounds great in theory. You allocate 50% for needs, 30% for your wants, and the last 20% for your savings. This budget is clean, simple, memorable. But guess what in practice? It's a financial diet that's doomed to fail. Here's why. Budgets are based on the fantasy that you'll have perfect self-control forever. They assume you'll track every expense, remember every category limit, and make rational decisions when you're tired, stressed, or just want to enjoy your life. This type of budgeting works fine when you're thinking about it, but the moment you get distracted, the whole budgeting system fails. With this budget, every purchase becomes a moral decision. You ask yourself, should I buy this coffee? Can I afford this dinner? Am I being irresponsible? The constant mental math turns normal spending into stress. This is what psychologists call decision fatigue. When this occurs, you wake up with a limited amount of mental energy for decisions. By the time evening comes, your brain is exhausted. Now, on top of this, imagine adding financial decisions to every single purchase. You begin to wonder things like, is this grocery trip within my food budget? Should I take an Uber or walk 20 minutes in the rain? Can I afford to split the check at dinner with friends? When this happens, every dollar spent requires a calculation, a justification, a moment of doubt. And here's the worst part. Budgets create a restriction mindset. You start seeing money as something scarce that you need to hoard and protect. Spending becomes the mortal enemy in your life instead of a tool for living your life. Traditional budgets also ignore how real life works. Your expenses don't follow neat and tidy percentages. For example, your rent doesn't care that it's supposed to be 30% of your income. Your car repair doesn't wait for next month when you have more room in your transportation category. Life is messy. Budgets pretend that it's not. The 50-30-20 rule treats all income the same way, but someone making $3,000 a month has different priorities than someone making $8,000. The person making $3,000 needs every dollar working efficiently. The person making $8,000 has more room for flexibility. Budgeting percentages don't account for your actual life. They're generic advice, and generic advice doesn't fit anyone perfectly. Here's what happens with most budgets. You start enthusiastic, you track everything for 2 weeks, then life gets busy. You forget to write down a few purchases. Then all of a sudden, the budget numbers stop adding up. You feel like you failed, so you give up entirely. You go from organized tracking to complete financial chaos in the span of a month. Sound familiar? But what if you could remove yourself from this battle entirely? What if your money could work automatically without requiring daily decisions or monthly guilt sessions? Here's what works instead. Removing yourself from the decision entirely. Instead of trying to control your behavior, you control your system. Instead of relying on willpower, you rely on automation. You're not going to budget your way to financial success, you're going to systematize your way there.
Step 1. Let's calculate your real numbers. Now let's build your system. The first step is getting your real numbers that you can work with and not some percentage from a financial guru who doesn't know anything about your life. Now let's start with your fixed expenses. These are the bills that show up every month whether you like it or not. Rent or mortgage, utilities, insurance, minimum debt payments, subscriptions you actually use. Add them all up. Don't estimate. Go through your bank statements from the last 3 months and get the actual numbers. Your rent is $1,200, not around $1,200. Your car payment is $347, not about $350. This isn't about being obsessive, it's about being accurate. You're building a machine, and machines need precise measurements to work properly. Once you have your total fixed expenses, that becomes your first bucket. Let's say it's $2,100 per month. That's your bills number. Write it down. Next, you will need to calculate your savings target as a specific dollar amount, not 10%, not 20%, a dollar amount that makes sense for your actual situation. If you're just starting, maybe it's $200 per paycheck. If you've been saving for a while, maybe it's $500. If you're behind on retirement, maybe it's $800. The key is picking a number you can sustain long-term, not a number that sounds impressive for 3 months. Your savings target should feel slightly uncomfortable but not impossible. If it's too easy, you're not building wealth fast enough. If it's too hard, you'll abandon the system when life gets expensive. Let's say you decide on $400 per paycheck for savings. If you get paid twice a month, that's $800 total going to your future. That's your savings number. Now comes the magic, your guilt-free spending amount. This is whatever's left after bills and savings. It's not a budget category. It's your financial freedom. Here's how the math works with real numbers. Let's say you bring home $3,000 per month after taxes. Your bills are $2,100. Your savings target is $400. That leaves you $100 for everything else. This will be tight, and you may have to adjust your goals. That $500 is yours to spend however you want. Groceries, gas, entertainment, clothes, random Amazon purchases. No tracking required. No categories to manage. No guilt when it's gone. This is why dollar amounts work better than percentages. Percentages feel abstract. 50% of what? 20% when? Dollar amounts are concrete. You either have $500 left or you don't. Your brain understands $500 in a way it never understood 30% for discretionary spending. You can visualize $500. You know what $500 can buy. You can feel when $500 is running low. The system creates 3 clear buckets with specific purposes. The bills bucket pays for survival. The savings bucket builds wealth over time. The spending bucket lets you enjoy the money you earn without destroying your future. The beauty of dollar amounts is they adjust automatically as your income changes. Get a raise? Your bills stay the same, but you can increase savings or spending. Lose income? You know exactly which numbers need to adjust. You're not trying to maintain arbitrary percentages that made sense for someone else's life. You're working with your actual money in your actual situation. Now that you have your 3 numbers, bills, savings, and spending, it's time to automate the whole thing.
Now comes the part that changes everything. Setting up 3 separate bank accounts that work like 3 different people handling your money. First, you will need a bills account, a savings account, and a spending account. Ideally, put them at different banks. This creates what I call beneficial friction. It's harder to steal from your future self when that money lives somewhere else. Start with your bills account. This is your financial vault. Every paycheck, you automatically transfer your exact bills amount, that $2,100 we calculated, into this account. Set up all your fixed expenses to auto-pay from here. Rent, utilities, insurance, car payment, minimum debt payments. Here's the key. No debit card for this account. No easy access. This money has one job, keeping you housed, insured, and legal. The moment this money hits the bills account, it's already spent. It doesn't exist for any other purpose. The psychological benefit is huge. You're not tempted by a big checking account balance because most of your money isn't sitting there staring at you. The bills account balance doesn't represent spending power. It represents responsibility handled. Next, set up automatic transfers to your savings account. That $400 per paycheck goes straight to savings or investments the day you get paid. Not when you remember, not when you have extra, the day your paycheck hits. This is what paying yourself first actually looks like. Your future gets fed before your present gets to spend. Most people save whatever's left over at the end of the month. There's never anything left over. This system guarantees your future gets its cut first. The savings account should also be hard to access. Different bank, no debit card, maybe even a different city if you're really serious. You want to create enough friction that touching this money requires real intention, not just impulse. Now, here's where the magic happens. Your spending account becomes your new paycheck. After bills and savings are automatically handled, whatever lands in your spending account is yours to spend completely guilt-free. This is your freedom money. Groceries, gas, restaurants, entertainment, clothes, random stuff you don't need but want anyway. No tracking, no categories, no moral judgments about your choices. The spending account gets a debit card. It gets easy access. It gets to be fun. Because this money has already done its job. It protected your survival and your future. Now it gets to handle your present. Think of it like having 3 different people manage your money. Person 1 handles all the boring stuff but essential, bills, insurance, keeping you legal and housed. Person 2 is obsessed with your future, investments, emergency fund, retirement. Person 3 just wants you to enjoy life without stress. Each person has a specific job and stays in their lane. Person 1 never touches fun money. Person 2 never compromises the future for today's wants. Person 3 never has to worry about accidentally spending the rent money. This system removes you from hundreds of micro decisions every month. You don't decide whether you can afford that dinner out. You look at your spending account balance. If the money's there, you can afford it. If it's not, you can't. You don't agonize. What about irregular expenses? Things like car repairs, medical bills, or that friend's wedding you forgot about. You handle them the same way you handle everything else, from your spending account if possible, or by temporarily adjusting your system if necessary. The beauty is that your bills and savings are protected. An unexpected expense might wipe out your spending account, but it can't touch your rent money or your future. The system has built-in protection for what matters most. Some people worry, what if I need to adjust the amounts? You adjust them. This isn't a prison sentence. It's a system that serves you. If your bills go up, increase the bills transfer. If you get a raise, boost your savings transfer. If life gets expensive, temporarily reduce savings to increase spending. The key is making intentional changes to the system, not constantly overriding it with impulse decisions. You're the architect of your money system, not its victim. This automation turns money management from a daily stress into a quarterly review. Instead of tracking every dollar, you're managing 3 simple transfers. Instead of fighting yourself every month, you're working with a system that makes the right choices automatic. Here is what you learned in this video, and that is that systems beat willpower every single time. You just built a money system that works even when you're tired, distracted, or just want to live your life without constant financial anxiety. No more budget guilt, no more decision fatigue, no more wondering if you can afford something. Your spending account balance tells you instantly. Your bills get paid automatically, your future gets funded first, and your present gets to spend freely within clear boundaries. You've got 3 accounts doing 3 jobs: bills keeping you stable, savings building your future, spending letting you enjoy today. Each one